Hey there, Eric Sachetta. Welcome to our video here today. This video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to get a little personal with you because, whether you're someone that I'm an acquaintance of or most likely you're someone who's on my team. So you're a member of the Live the Movie team and you're either watching this video because you're on your iPass back office and you went to your sponsor page. I'm your sponsor, which means that I'm the person who put up the advertisement that you heard about the business. Even if you watched the video from Chris Jones or Adam or somebody else, it was me that actually sponsored you to get into the business. So just want to mention that real quick. Or you're a member of the Unstoppable Family team and the team that sponsored me to get here, you're part of the team and part of our little group here as well. So just want to preface that while you're actually watching me. But remember, one of the biggest things that you got to remember as you're building your team or interacting with people in your business is people buy people. The reason someone's successful is because of the principles they teach and they actually work, but the reason you listen is because of their stories. Why do you listen to Tony Robbins, or why do I listen to Tony Robbins? The whole story about him having no money and washing his clothes in the bathtub, but then making that decision and changing his life, and now he's impacted 50 million people. Why do I listen to people like Brendan Burchard? He talks about his accident when he was 19, getting a second chance on life, and ever since then he's been a positive person, all about live. I have his wristband here, Live, Love, Matter. I wear his wristband all the time, and he's done that for 16 years. That's how he lives his life, and that's why you listen to the people. So just want to give you a little background on me, show them real. I'm not here in this business just to coach you so you make a bunch of money. That's the byproduct of you becoming the person you need to be to make that happen, and I just wanted you to show you that you're being coached, or if I'm on your team, if you're part of the Unstoppable team, that you're talking to somebody real who really wants to make a difference. So as you see, we're really informal with this video. I got my Patriots jersey on. Just want to let you know, huge Boston sports fan. I love sports. Now, originally I used to love sports for the wrong reasons. Things were, not the way I really wanted them to be in my life in high school and college. And I used to be so focused on sports because it was an escape. And I would be happy or sad based on how my team went, how they did. Now, I still get excited when my teams win and when they lose, but I do it more for the fun, the entertainment, the being around people, the excuse to get together, and that's what it's really about. And I look more of the growth of the players and the team and the journey of the season, and that's more aligned with really who I am. So huge, Boston sports fan. A few other things I want to throw out here. I am big into personal development. I've read over 300 books in the last 5 years, all about personal development, like I mentioned, leadership, success, relationships, anything that falls in that category of making me a better person, because who you're on the inside gets reflected on the outside. If you're constantly growing yourself, constantly learning, constantly teaching, what is that going to mean for what happens on the outside? So right now I'm reading a new book, Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom. I know a ton of you in the tribe and also on my team are reading that book, and it's so awesome to have so many like-minded people here. Some of my other passions, I love running. I love this t-shirt. Nice feel to it. It says what wall, right? So if you can see that there, what wall? And what that's saying is, what's going to stop you from hitting your goals? I love running because you set an intention, you say, I'm going to run this far, I'm going to run this fast, and you just do it. Obstacles come up and you just find a way. I've run 5 miles a day, 95% of days for the last 5, 6, 7 years. That's just a passion of mine. It gives me my energy, my juice. I know if I do that, I'm going to be the best for people. You got to figure out what your things are and make sure you do them on a daily basis. I have this hat here, Positive State, Life is Good. I learned about state from Tony. Your emotional state is going to determine the decisions that you make and how you feel in a given moment, and your beliefs drive you long term. But just wearing that hat a lot to remind me, life is good, be positive. Yes, we go through challenges, but ultimately if we knew where we were going to get, if we didn't give up, we wouldn't see the challenges as such a big deal. I'm going to tell you a story at the end that I will really relate to you and tell you what I'm all about and why I'm doing this business and why I'm passionate. And it's all related to being positive and overcoming some challenges. A couple more things that I have here. I actually, back in February, published a book, a self-published book, The 8 Mandates of Personal Leadership. Hope you can see it there. It's really my journey over the last 6 or 7 years, from the darkest moment of my life, the worst moment of my life, all the way till very recently. And I tell my stories through it, but I also teach lessons of how you can lead yourself to the highest level so you can impact others. Now, I actually was able to get a copy of the book in the hands of someone that works for legendary speaker, motivational speaker, salesman, so many words to describe a business success coach, whatever you want to call him, Brian Tracy. And his company actually loved the ideas in my book so much that they let me write a chapter in a book put together by Brian Tracy. And I actually have custom covers for myself. And here's me and Brian right on the cover. The book's called Transform, and it's how to transform your business, life, and health. And I got to write a chapter, got to go to a bestseller award show, and it was just an amazing experience. And again, I don't say any of this to brag or anything, just to tell you, what's going on in my life and what I'm working on and what I'm hoping to contribute. So a couple more things here. Excuse me for stepping away for a second. But we got some pictures. This is me and my wife at our wedding, and then on our honeymoon. Not sure if it's in the shot or not. We'll kind of go up and down, but we've got some cool pictures here. My wife stole this one for something else. You can see here us at the wedding. We went to Hawaii, San Diego, Disney World. It was an unbelievable time. Great time together. We love traveling. That's a passion of ours. That's a passion of ours as well, and really seeing other cultures, seeing different places, getting a chance to relax, connect with each other. That's great as well. Also, we got our vision board. I don't know if you guys have vision boards, but we'll just throw it up here for a second. See if you can get that in the shot. Get a lot of different things on our board. I'll turn it around towards me for a second. So we got some houses, some places we want to travel, cars, the experiences, Super Bowl. We've actually done some of these things. I've been to some of these places. They're pretty cool. Just checking it out. Obviously, we want to have some kids. I'll get to the fact that my wife and I, of course, when we were married and all that in a second. But we want to have some kids. Want to start a charity at some point. We have that on here. Horseback riding, seeing a bunch of places, which is great. So it's cool to have that vision and want to see all those amazing places. But, it's really not just about going places and checking things off a list. It's about the culture, seeing what other people are like, contributing. When I was younger and I just got to go on trips because my parents brought me on trips, sometimes as a young kid, you're not as grateful as you should be for those things. Oh, we're here. And I always had a blast. I always had so much fun, and looking back, totally grateful for all those experiences. But sometimes as a young person, you don't appreciate them to the level that you should. And now I realize it's not about going to the places so you can check it off a list, say I did this or I did that or anything like that. It's about the experience with the people that you're at. You could be anywhere. Going different places is fun because you get to see different places, but it's also not even about the places. It's about the experiences in the places. My family and I, my brother, parents, and my wife just went to Italy at the end of last summer. And we went to Rome, we went to Florence, we went to Tuscany, the Tuscany region with the wine country and all that, and then finished in Venice. And it's funny, the things that you remember are not, I saw this building, the sights are awesome and unbelievable, but it's the conversations, it's the dinners, it's the waitress, it's the tour guide, it's, you know what I mean? And the fact that regardless of whether you've been nowhere or been a bunch of places, when you go to different places, you're going to have experiences with the people you're with and the people you interact with and learning the cultures, and that's what it's ultimately all about. And it took me to go through some challenges to really realize that. So, and then we have my wedding album here. We were married in August 2013, so 16 months ago from when I'm shooting this here. Just an unbelievable day. So, it was just a great time. And to finish this video and to really tell you what I'm about and why I'm so happy to either have you be on my team, if you're a friend or family member watching this, just to have you in my life, or if you're part of the Unstoppable team, for me to be a part of that team. It was the day I was to get married, and I woke up and I put on my running shoes like I do, and I went for a run outside, and I started running and I started thinking. And even as I talk about it now, I get a little emotional, and I just started crying. And I couldn't stop crying the entire run. I came inside, I kept crying and crying. And usually when someone's crying on the day of their wedding day, that means they're nervous to get married. But for me, it wasn't the case at all. It wasn't the case at all. And to really show you what it's all about an hour later, I was at my parents' house because that's where I was meeting all of the groomsmen that were in my wedding. We were meeting at my parents' house. So I'm standing there, my dad comes out, I'm crying, he gets a little nervous, he starts to cry, and he said, "What's wrong?" And I paused for a second, I looked at him with a smile on my face, and I said, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And of course, that was a big relief to him, but what I meant by that was, about 6 years before that moment, I talk about this, it's the first chapter in my book, my self-published book that I wrote. I had this, what I call defining moment. It was New Year's Eve, 2007 going into 2008. I was out with my friends, and we were heading through the Boston Common, and I sort of lost track of where they were, and I found myself standing alone. And I was, doing a little bit of drinking. I was in college, but not crazy. But all of a sudden, everything started spinning. Like, things were completely, metaphorically and literally out of control. I couldn't find my friends, and then all of a sudden, the clock struck 12. It was midnight, and I just had this unbelievably terrible feeling come over me that I really was truly alone, and I really felt that. And I really wanted to give up. But in that moment I said, you know what, I need to give up, but not give up on life, not give up on school, not give up on anything. I need to give up on the story I have about myself. I gotta give up living this life that isn't really me. It's not me. And in that moment I said, enough. Let's go do it. And from that moment I took action. I did some things, I went for different things, and the last 6 years has been a crazy ride. There's been so many up and downs, a lot more up and downs than before that moment, but everything was kind of just not great. On the outside, it was fantastic. I have an amazing family that I love. I had some great friends from high school and the beginning of college. I was attending Bentley University in Waltham, Massachusetts, now one of the top 20 business schools and actually #1 in a bunch of categories. And I don't say that to brag, but I was there, but I wasn't really experiencing it. I was, going to class to get a job so that I could work there for 40 years and retire someday, and that had no juice to it. That was nothing for me. I didn't stand for anything. I just went along with the crowd. I never gave my opinion. I just wanted everybody to like me. And to do that, I got love from everybody else, but there was one person I didn't love. That was me. I gave up love for myself to love everybody else. And because we're also caring people, a lot of us do that. But you can't do that. You got to be there for yourself, because that's when you're going to be the best for others. So I took this moment and I went on a journey, and unbelievable things started to happen. I really didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe I was attractive. I didn't believe that I could get a date or anything like that. All of a sudden, that stuff started happening. All of a sudden, the next semester at school, I met this amazing group of friends that I actually call the Bentley family. Many of them were in my wedding. All of them were at my wedding. They are amazing people. They love to have fun. They also work hard. They like spending money, but on things that are experiences. They're just passionate about their church and their charities and all the things. They're just amazing people. And isn't it amazing that those people didn't show up until I started to believe in myself, that I started to develop myself? And I went from there, and then I started a sales and marketing job, and I started learning about personal development and leadership. And then I found my wife there. And then I started learning from people like Tony Robbins and Brendon Burchard. And then I started learning all kinds of online courses and learning all this knowledge. And then it brought me right here to iPass, the Unstoppable Family, and now the Live the Movie team. And I am so passionate about the connection between that moment and my wedding, and of course now, that's why I'm here. I'm not here so that you sign up for the top level, that you get your black card so I make some money. That's how it works, but that's not what it's about. It's you going all in because you believe in yourself, so that you can do the same for someone else. So that even if you're in a tough financial situation right now, or you're tough emotional, or relationships, or whatever, if you're having that defining moment by starting this business, it can be a moment that changes your life. And if you can make those connected dots from where you are to that moment, that wedding for me, or right now, where you want to be, then you say, I'm going to get there. I'm just going to follow the system. I'm just going to follow Eric. I'm just going to follow the people that have got this done. And I'm going to impact so many people, and it's going to do the same thing for them. It's such a spiral effect. If that can happen, if I know it's going to happen, I won't let all the challenges beat me down, because I know those were the things that made that moment special. That moment before my wedding wasn't just special because I had my wife in my life, because I had all those friends in my life, because I had that sales and marketing job, because I had started to learn from people like Tony Robbins. It wasn't all those positive things. It was all those moments before it happened, my defining moment. the moment before I decided to try out that sales job, the moment before I met my friends, because all breakthroughs, all times where you just really make something happen are usually preceded by a moment where you're extremely challenged, where you want to give up, and instead of giving up, for some reason you do the exact opposite. You go all in. And if you'll go all in with us for this business, it is going to change the way you look at things. I can't guarantee any income. Of course, check out any earning disclaimers or anything like that, but this isn't about the business. This is about life. This is about making a difference. This is about being a part of the Live the Movie team, and this is about being a part of a system that can change your life. And I just want to be a part of it for you, because the last thing I'll say to you is, remember that vision board I showed you with all those things that I got to do? There's a completely different experience between going on the exact same trip to the exact same place because someone dragged you there. Someone paid for it and you're there just to check something off a box and say when you come home, hey, so-and-so, I went to this place. It's a completely different experience when you pay for it yourself, and the only reason you get to go is because you added so much value to the people around you that experience of going on that trip takes on a whole new level of meaning. And when you go on trips like that, you won't be able to believe the inner peace that you have, the fun you have, the presence you have. And that is what life's all about, growing and contributing. That's it. It's not about a dollar amount. It's not about anything else. We all put random rules in our head about what we need to be happy and fulfilled and all this stuff. It's about growing and contributing beyond yourself. So go out there, live the movie. If you don't know what Live the Movie is, check out the top video when we talk about the Get Start video about what the Live the Movie team is and what we're all about here. And we're really all about living that movie, about overcoming those challenges and breaking through and making that difference like they do in every Hollywood movie. So go out there, live the movie, have a wonderful day. Glad to have you on my team, or if you're on the Unstoppable team, glad you stopped by as well. And we'll talk to you soon.